clap on. Evening, everybody. Happy December 15th to you, 7 p.m. A little before. I started just a couple seconds early because I know the lag on this takes about 30 seconds. So yeah, I'm watching my computer right now. Right now I'm watching an ad before this video. So watching a guy with a bowling ball. Anyway, it should pop up here in a sec. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the show. Let me adjust. That should be better, maybe. All right. There we go. Cool. Let me pop out the chat so I can see the chat. There we go. Poll's up. Please take the poll if you haven't done so already. We got, how many votes do we have on the poll right now? We have 35 votes on the poll, and we have just about 50 people here. So if you haven't taken the poll yet, please jump on there. The numbers are bouncing all over the place. The question tonight is, do you have all your Christmas shopping done? You got two options. Yes, because I rule Christmas, or no, I'll be at Meijer on December 24th. Which may be where I will be. No, I think I got everything done on my end. So yeah, right now, 61% of the people are saying they're going to be at Meijer on the 24th, Christmas Eve, doing the rest of their shopping. We'll check back in on that later. So let's check some comments out. Todd, you say you sent a Christmas present to the shop. I hope they got it to you. Haven't seen it yet, but I have not been in there in a few days, Todd. But thank you for doing that, whatever it is. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you. Russ Gillen wants to know, what did I buy from DREAMWEAVER for myself? Oh, Russ, that is a good question. I'll let that out later. Don't worry. And Swamp Rat wants to know, when is this Twilight Zone going to end? I assume you're talking about the consent decree and all of the garbage that's gone along with it. I don't know when it'll end. Who knows? Hopefully soon. We'll talk about that tonight. So if you're not familiar, what we're going to do tonight, we're going to talk about that 2000 Great Lakes Consent Decree. We're going to talk about where we stand right now and where it's going to in the future. Tonight is going to be just going to be an overview on it. I just got off the phone with the president of the Michigan Charter Boat Association. He's given me some names and some phone numbers of people to hopefully have on the show to go into greater depth. But tonight's show is going to be an overview, where we're at, where it may go. Before we go any further, I'm going to put this out there. I am not going to be your vessel, your vehicle for any kind of hate mongering. I'm not going to stand for any bad communication. I'm not going to stand for any bad language. This is not racial. It's not political. This is straight down the line. I'm just going to give you the information. I will say this. If you put on any, I'm just going to use the word crap. If you use any kind of crap language on this channel, that's not what this channel is about. And anybody that's been here for a long time, I'm sure will back me up on that. So if you put any kind of crap language up here, it's going to be deleted. It's going to be ignored. And if it continues after you get a warning, you're going to be banned from the channel. So I'm just going to put that out there right now. I know there's a lot of bad blood on all this thing. I've watched this since the year 2000. I've seen what people have done over this thing. I've seen the fist fights. I've seen the aftermath of this thing. I'm not going to be any type of vessel, like I said, for any type of hate or vitriol. That is not what we're about here. I will tell you this, Adam Knutson from Reel to Reel Outdoors contacted me yesterday, gave me a phone call, and we had a real nice conversation about this. Adam is on the same page as I am, and what we're looking to do is we're going to make a blanket statement on this type of fishing, this gill netting. We're going to say this, and this I'm sure I'm speaking for Adam while I say this. We do not condone or support or represent any kind of fishing that indiscriminately kills fish or takes fish, kills fish over that person's legal limit, whether that be gill netting, whether that be hook and line, whether that be poaching, whatever. The stance that we are taking is we will not support that in any way, shape, or form. And that's a conversation that Adam and I had. And he and I agree with that. So that is the tangle tackle fishing. That is the stance that I'm taking on that. I do not support any type of outdoor activity, fishing, hunting, whatever, that takes that fish over a legal limit or kills fish at an indiscriminate pace. And gill netting is going to do those type of things. So that is my stance on that. And again, this is not your place. If you want to spew out a bunch of hatred, this is not the place to do it. Go find someplace else, please. All right, enough said on that. Thank you. I'll say this also. Adam runs a good channel, Reel to Reel Outdoors. He's going to be having podcasts on this as well. His live stream will be out. I want to make sure I got this right. It will be out on Monday. I forget who he's going to have on the channel. I believe it's the DNR Tribal Relations Officer. So that'd be an excellent person to have on there. The people that I've talked to, reached out so far, like I said, were the president for the Michigan Charter Boat Association. I'm going to be reaching out to a few of the people on their board. One is right here in my local area, Kevin Hughes, and another gentleman named Tony. Tony, I'm going to mess this up if you're watching. I apologize. Rajanovic, maybe, something along those lines. Both those people are well versed in this consent decree and where it's going, where it's come from, where it is right now, and where it's going to go in the future. So hopefully I will have those on either in the next few weeks, maybe after the holidays. We're in no huge rush on this thing. We're just looking, Adam and I especially, we're just looking to get out the best information possible so everybody out there can educate themselves. Everybody out there can get the information that they want. They can make up their own mind on this. Don't let me influence you. Don't let Adam influence you. Nothing against Adam. Don't let a social media channel influence your decision. Educate yourself. Read the information. Make up your mind on what you want to stand for. Okay? If the information that we give you helps you in some way, all the better. All right. I'm glad that I got that off my chest, and I hope everybody understands. Tim H. spoken very carefully for a man with a lot at stake. Tim, I understand, yeah. Yeah, of course. We all have a lot at stake. It's our fishery. We've all worked extremely hard, including the DNR, to get this fishery back up to what it's been lacking for the last decade and a half, and it's at a really good spot right now. And I think all of us that care about this fishery are not we're not willing to just let it go. And gill netting, in my opinion, could really completely damage that fishery. So, okay. Mike Waldner saying hi from Jamestown. How you doing, Mike? Good to see you. Dakota Joe is on here. Good to see you. Leroy Downing must be on here. I see somebody saying hi to him. Let's get that right out of the way first. So we do have some housekeeping to take care of first. The first one is Leroy at Purple Taco Fly Supply. They ran a Black Friday sale, a Black Friday special. Anybody that bought products from them during that time has their name in this little envelope that was sent to me. So what we're going to do, they have 5 winners. 2 are going to get 25% off, 2 are going to get 50% off, and 1 is going to 100% off their order. I'm going to draw out 5 people right now. Hugh Merrill, good to see you. Jason C., good to see you. Chris Olson, all Tangled Tackle Army members. Thanks for being here, guys. All right, first person at 25% off for that sale. Ed Vondersm, Ed V. Ed Vonderembse. Ed, you got 25% off your order. Why do names have to be like that? I'm terrible at them. I do my best. Everybody knows that. Second person, 25% off the order. Sion Malmgren, S-J-A-O-N. S-J-O-N, Son Malmgren. First person at 50% off their order. Guys, if this is not your thing, feel free to skip past this part of the video if you're watching it after it airs. 50% off the order. Philip Odren, O-D-R-E-N. Congrats to everybody so far. Next person at 50% off their order is Nick Valley, V-A-L-L-E-E. Congratulations. And the big winner, Gary Davey, good to see you. Tom Vanderhenst, I'm sorry. Good to see you. Bob Pringle, good to see you. And the grand prize winner for the Purple Taco Black Friday giveaway, Matt Kowalski. Matt Kowalski, you win the grand prize. Congratulations to all of you. Got that out of the way. Leroy, however you want to go about these people getting in touch with you, I guess the best way would for them to go on your website, look up your phone number, and have them give you a call. So if everybody that just won, if you look up purpletacoflysupply.com, look up that phone number, give Leroy or Deb a call, they will get you hooked up. All right. Dreamweaver. Can't ever forget to talk about Dreamweaver. Dreamweaver, thank you so much. Dreamweaver proudly supports all of these live streams. Thank you so much from Dreamweaver for doing all of that. Let's talk about some other things that we have to talk about. The big donation giveaway that's going on right now to help out that charity that I've talked about the last couple of weeks. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put a link right up now after the video airs to YouTube. Here's what's going on with that in a nutshell. I am trying to raise as much money as possible to donate to a local animal shelter here in Manistee called Repo's Rescues. They have no idea that we're doing this. Right now we have well over $1,000 donated. There's a couple ways you can do this. You can either just donate through PayPal, which is right down below, or you can buy some of the channel's merchandise. That link is down below as well. Or you can stop in the shop, drop off a cash donation, or if you want to drop off a necessity that they need, dog food, cat food, things like that. The video they aired out last week that I just put a link up to has all of those things on Amazon. You can go on Amazon, purchase that, and send it right to the shop. The shop's address is on that video. So that's the 3 ways that you can get entered into this. What you're going to get if you win, and again, this is a free giveaway. This is not anything else. YouTube frowns on anything else, but there's just a really nice Dreamweaver pack that Scott and I picked out last week. That is on that video as well. The grand prize winner is going to get that pack, well over worth $200. And then he gave me a bunch of hats, can koozies, things like that. I'm going to throw out to another probably dozen or so winners through all of that. So please get into that. Help out a worthy cause. Guys, I don't know if this is your thing or not, but I'm going to read off the people who have donated so far through PayPal. Let me say this. If you have donated by buying merchandise or by sending something to Amazon, please email me your name and phone number. My email is down below in the video description right here. You can just go down below and check it out. If you buy merchandise or if you buy things through Amazon, I may not get your name. I want to make sure I get your name to enter it in. But these are the people that have donated so far through PayPal. Of course, Dreamweaver, Ben Palmore, Andrew Korducki, Steve Eddy, Steve Howell, I apologize, Andrew Clement, Steve Weitzman, Randall T, Chris Olson, Kerm Filion, Dave Robbins, the Computer Medic, which I'm pretty sure is Matt Presnitz. Matt's a Tangled Tackle Army member. I think I saw him on here already. Sean Crozier, Steve Stockton, Tim Barker, Paul Schmuckel, Mark Withers, Ramiro Capetillo, I see that name all the time, Jeff Abram, Gary Crease, Cody Buczko, or B-U-C-Z-K-O, Christine Powarski, Matt Hughes, T and J Apiary and Honey, Teresa Flanders, another name I see all the time, Jim Dabrowski, another name, Jeff O'Grady, Jamie Lake, and Custom Marine Flooring, of course, also donated. Thank you to all those, and thank you for having the patience to hear me read through all of that. Let's get back to where we were. Oh, don't forget, Custom Marine Flooring, they're having their sale right now, 10% off your flooring, and they've extended it to January 15th. So if you want to get 10% off your flooring, like I have on my boat and a bunch of other boats through Marine Mat, their link is down below as well. 10% off till the mid of January. You're not gonna get a better deal, guaranteed. And your boat's gonna look really, really nice. Eric Nearing wants to know what happened to the $100 Steelhead Challenge. Eric, what happened is I got sick, and I'm still getting over that. I have not been out of the house hardly in 2 weeks. So I apologize. I got all the gear, and I still have not been out to the water. So it's coming. Don't worry, guys. All right. Derek Watson, if you donated through PayPal and you didn't hear your name, don't worry, I have it. Everybody that donated through PayPal, I may have just missed it when I print them off. They are definitely all there. Dan Callum, if you want to put your information on the PayPal donation as far as a phone number, you're welcome to do that also. If you have a PayPal page that says, you know, like, whatever, such and such industries, and that's the way it comes across when I read it, I'm not going to know what your name is. So if you do have something like that, make sure in the notes that you put down what your real name is. Like, there's one that was Apiary and Honey. I have no idea what their name is. Okay. What else do I need to talk about before we get going here? All right, so kind of a nutshell what we're going to do here as far as the giveaways I just talked about. We're going to draw all those winners out on December 31st when I draw the winner out for the charter giveaway. Don't forget, I'm giving away a charter, a free salmon charter every year. All you have to do is support us on Patreon. That link's down below. We're also, Great Lakes Gear got a hold of me the other day. If you're not familiar with Great Lakes Gear, they're a great clothing company right here in Ludington, Michigan. If you haven't seen them, I'm surprised. They seem to be everywhere. They want to do a giveaway on the channel. I'll do that giveaway that night as well. We'll do the DREAMWEAVER giveaway. We'll do the charter giveaway. Hopefully we'll be able to give away all the money to that charity that we're talking about that night. I haven't talked to them yet, but I got to crush all this up together, get it all shaken up in a jar, and get it all to work out. So it'll work. I'll make it work one way or another. All right. Tonight's topic, we beat around the bush for 15 minutes. Thank you again for your patience. Again, no haters on here. No garbage talk. Let's be positive. We're at where we're at, and we'll move from there. So if you look down in this video's description, first off, you will see that I have some links put down there. The first thing I'm going to do the first thing I'm going to ask you to do on this Great Lakes consent decree is educate yourself. Make sure you know what you're talking about. Just don't listen to newscasts. Don't listen to your brother or your cousin or your brother's cousin or whatever. Make sure you educate yourself. The first link that I got down below is read the decree. That goes right to the Michigan Charter Boat Association's Michigan Charter Boat Association homepage. The entire decree is right. Well, the entire stipulation to that decree, what's coming about, is posted right there. There's a couple other links that I got down below. This is a big one right here. The second link down goes to the Coalition to Protect Michigan Resources. This is run by a bunch of people from the Michigan Charter Boat Association. If you want to do anything to help out, after you read all this and you decide, hey, I want to help out in any way that I can, there's a donate button right on that second link down. The best thing that you can do is to enable the people that know more than you and I to go out there and fight the good fight. So that is right there. The Michigan DNR homepage is the next link down. That will take you to, there's actually some really good information right here. If you scroll through that, it's going to talk about what is the 2000 consent decree, which is what we're based on right now. If you're not familiar with the consent decree at all this started back in the 80s. And with the tribes wanting to put out fishing gear. And eventually in the mid-80s, they put out their first decree, if I'm correct. In the year 2000, they came out with the 2000 consent decree, which basically is regulating everything right now. The consent decree expired a couple years ago. That 2000 consent decree is no longer, well, I guess it is valid, but it was supposed to expire 2 years ago. Right now, they're running on that 2000 consent decree, which means that nothing has changed. Nothing will change until all the parties come to a new agreement. So that consent decree consists of the state of Michigan primarily, and what is it, 6 of the tribal entities here in the state of Michigan. All right. Right now, if I have my information correct, and I'm pretty sure I do, 5 of those tribes have agreed to the new decree. However, the Sioux tribe has decided that they want to step away and govern their own body, their own regulations. So that is one of the hangups that we're having right now. All that is covered right there on that Michigan DNR page that is linked down below. gives you all the 2000 consent decrees, and there's a really nice link there called the 2000 consent decree FAQs. It goes over a lot of the information, the commonly asked questions about that 2000 consent decree. Start right there. If you don't know anything about it, go into that FAQ page and it will answer simply a lot of those questions. Because I'm going to tell you what, when you go and you read the consent decree, I've read it twice now, top to bottom. It's about 20 pages long. And if you don't have a pretty good understanding on how law works, if you don't, if you get distracted easily, which I do sometimes, you can miss a lot in there. A lot of it reads just like Greek. And I had to go through it twice to really get my head around a lot of things. So take your time, read through it though, then go into that DNR page, read the FAQs. They're going to help you out also. I also have on there linked the Northwest Michigan page. The NWMI Fishing Club page is also linked on there. They have a petition going on if you want to put your name on that petition. That is right there. One thing I was warned about is there's also a donate button on there. I see we have somebody on here from NWMI, and if I'm wrong on this, correct me. But talking to the people at the Michigan Charter Boat Association, after you sign that, you're going to get a link. Hey, do you want to donate to help this cause? Be careful of clicking on that link, because what I've been told is that link is going to take you to a support. It's not going to go into the pockets where you want it to go. It's not going to go to that coalition or the NWMI. It's going to go to the app creator to help support that app. If I'm wrong on that, correct me. But it sounds like if you do want to donate to help out, the best place to go would be go to that coalition to protect Michigan's resources. Again, that link is right there. If you want to donate, and that's a great thing to do, I've done it. If you want to donate, that's where I would go. All right. As you read through that consent decree, you're also going to come across some grid numbers. You're gonna come across a grid such and such, changes to this grid, changes to that grid. To make it easier, I put a link to the Lake Michigan grids as well in this video. You can check that out. That way, you know exactly what you're talking about. Okay. All right, so this is the consent decree in a nutshell, where we're standing right now. Like I said, we're working off the 2000 consent decree, which did allow some gill netting. What's changing on this is it sounds like there's 4 stipulations that are really being the hang-up right now. And I'm just going to read off some of the information that I have. It says, under the 2000 consent decree, gill net fishing was not permitted in grids 813 and 814. 813 and 814, if I remember right, are the ones outside. They're not in the heart. I'd have to look back. But anyway, that's in northern Michigan. Some of these tribal entities want to change that, especially to allow, they'd be allowed up to so many more licenses per day, so many more feet of gill net in the Little Traverse Bay, in the tribal zones. And a lot of other things going on in that consent decree that they want to change to increase their gill net fishing. Of course, if you're like me, that automatically raises some red flags, because we know that gill nets are indiscriminate. We know that it's going to be very, very difficult to target a certain species. I mean, how can you? If you put down a gill net, and if you don't know what a gill net is, it's an opening in a net. It's a net with small openings in it. What it does, it basically captures a fish inside that net. They can't go forward and they can't back out because their gills get stuck inside that mesh, and it kills them. It basically drowns them in the water. If you're going to put out a gill net, how are you going to discriminate against which fish are going to be killed in that net? And I know you're going to say, well, some people are going to say because of the size of the holes, but if you look at the size of a hole for a lake trout, it's going to be about the same size of a hole that a salmon can get into, same size that a bass can get into, same size that a whitefish, a lot of other fish can get into. So gill net fishing is very indiscriminate in itself. And my second question that comes up on that is, how are you going to regulate your quota or your limit for that setting? Such as, say you're only allowed 10 fish per that size or for that length of net. How are you going to find out when your quota is met? Unless you're pulling up that net every 20 minutes or sending a diver down or sending some kind of ROV down there, I don't know how you're going to know when you've reached that quota. So based on both of those things, the indiscriminate fish that we're going to get into that net, and the amount of fish that you're going to go over your quota. I don't know how people are going to regulate this and maintain it, and just have oversight on that to know when they're doing it or if they are doing it correctly. So here's some of the biggest changes that came up under these stipulations on this whole decree. Stipulation A, they want gill net fishers in grids 813 and 814. Now, if I'm going to look at 813 and 814, I want to make sure that I have this right. And I don't believe that gill nets were allowed previously at 813 and 814. Okay, yep. Those are the grids just north of Glen Lake, on the west side of the peninsula. So those are two areas that they want opened back up, or they want opened up for gill netting. Let me get back to where I was. Excuse me. Well, where did I go here? There we are. Okay, so they want to open up that grid 813 and 814 in Section A. The GTB, which is Grand Traverse Ban proposal, is permits will be required for tribal commercial fishers using gill nets in newly opened areas for the first 3 years after the successor decree takes effect. So what they're saying is, as soon as this new decree is ratified, that they can use gill nets in those areas. The state proposal, or the contradictory proposal that they want, permits will be required for tribal commercial fishers using gill nets in newly open areas until gill net fishing has occurred in the area for the 5 consecutive years. So that is the state's answer to that. Section B, or Stipulation B. This is a net effort limitations on grid 815 and 816. The GTB proposal on that is gill net effort will be limited to 4,500 feet of gill net in the East and West Bay, the Grand Traverse East and West Bay, per day. 4,500 feet. That's a long, long net. That's almost a mile of net. The state's proposal, in answer to that, is gill net effort will be limited to 3,600 feet of gill net in the East and West Bay. So the state would really want that limited. Section C in this, small mesh gill netting in the north half of grid 616. So I'd have to go back and look what that grid is, but I believe it is near Charlevoix. So this is one that's really got a lot of people fired up. The small gill net fishing in the north half of grid 616. The proposal from the tribal entities is the area near Charlevoix will be open to perch fishing with small mesh gill nets year-round. That's going to decimate a lot of that perch population up there. Not only perch, though, but also a ton of other non-targeted fish. Anything else out there that's small enough to get inside that net is going to be wiped out. Well, not wiped out, but hurt. The state contradictory proposal to that is this area will remain closed to perch fishing with small mesh gill nets. Okay, and then Section D on this is use of hook and line gear for commercial fishing. Again, the GTB proposal on this is recreational hook and line fishing gear will be allowed for commercial fishing only within the Grand Traverse Tribal Zone, which includes all waters from Good Harbor Bay to just south of Charlevoix and all of Grand Traverse Bay. Excuse me. The state proposal contradictory to that is recreational hook and line fishing for gear, i.e. rod and reel, will not be allowed for commercial fishing anywhere within the 1836 treaty waters. So that is the stipulation that they just proposed to the courts. And this whole stipulation that I just read in a small version was read by Judge Paul L. Maloney. And Judge Paul L. Maloney agreed with the GTB. And these proposals, all 4 of those proposals, will now become part of the overall new consent decree, which means when the new consent decree does become ratified, when it does become valid, those 4 proposals I just read off will all be part of that and will now all be legal. So, is this set in stone? And I guess that's where the question really boils down, doesn't it? Is this all set in stone? They're looking at placing gill nets outside Manistee. We had these before. We had these way back in the late 2000s, if I remember right. And yeah, they're looking to put gill nets back in my area. The information that I got, and this is just cursory preemptive information from the Charter Boat Association, is right now under the new decree, two tribal boats would be allowed to set nets 6,000 feet per day. 6,000 feet. That's 2.5 miles of net from Arcadia south all the way to the Grand Rapids River. Really, all the way down to GR. So, and we believe that the dates that they're talking about that those would be allowed will be July to August. So that's another big thing that's going into this new consent decree that could be very detrimental to our fishery. If you're setting 6,000 feet of line or gill nets per day, that's going to be a lot of fish that are going to be taking it, irregardless, or not irregardless isn't even a word, regardless of what your quota is. Say your quota per 1,000 feet of net is 20 fish. Again, how are you going to regulate that, and how are you going to regulate the indiscriminate killing of other species? Say your gill nets, you have a 20 fish quota of lake trout per day, per 1,000 foot of net, whatever it may be. Those are just numbers I'm making up. How are you going to regulate that only 20 fish are getting caught per that time period, and 20 of the right fish are getting caught per that time period? So this is the thing that has everybody's underwear in a bunch. The questions that are just unanswered right now. Because if you read through that whole consent decree, take some time and do it. It's going to take you a while. There's some things in there just make you, just like those questions I just asked you, how are you going to do these things? And a lot of people out there, they will spin this. They'll want to make it sound like it's all doable. It depends on which side you take on this whole thing, which side, the coin you want to flip it over on. A lot of people out there that will say, hey, we can do this. It's easily done. Until it's shown to me, I don't know how you're going to do it. So, what do we do as sportsmen? Again, this is not set in stone. The 2000 consent decree right now is still in place. It's still active. It is still being regulated. It's if this new consent decree comes to fruition where we start to need to be worried. So, again, this video tonight, I'm just giving you blanket information. There's a lot of questions I see them coming up on the chat. How are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? These are questions I'm going to look forward to answering for you in the upcoming weeks. This is going to be a multi-part video, I'm sure, in many ways. Again, first step is I'm giving you the information. Please go out, read the information for yourself, educate yourself, make sure you know what you're talking about. Next part that I'm doing is I'm going to bring in people that know much more about these things that I do. Again, I'm going to be asking Tony and Kevin to come in, hopefully talk about all of this, give you more information. That's what information is, all power here. And then as that goes on, I will give you further information on what you can do personally to help out whatever side of the coin that you want to be on. Okay? That's me in a nutshell. I'm just going to give you the information. I'm the conduit right now for that. So, again, go in, though, read the decree. Do that first. If you want to donate, if you want to do step number one, I mean, the biggest thing you can do is enable the people that are going to help you. Go to that coalition to protect Michigan's resources. The link is there. Donate to them if you can. If you can't, at least support them verbally. You can call your state senator. You can call your state legislatures. You can call or make your voice known to the people that will represent you in the best possible way. The NWMI homepage is on there as well, linked into this video. Please go on there and sign the petition if you want to. Don't do it because I'm asking you to or not asking you to. You make your choice on whether or not you want to do that. Go in there, read the Michigan DNR webpage. Read those FAQs, educate yourself there as well, and make sure you look at the grid section so you know which grids are going to be affected. If they're in your area or not in your area, maybe you care, maybe you don't. All right, make sure you do all those things. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to go over. There's one other thing I'll go over tonight. So when I talked to the president of the Michigan Charter Boat Association earlier, he says there is a court hearing going on tomorrow at the federal courthouse in Kalamazoo. If you want to go there, you're more than welcome to. Dress appropriately. Federal courthouses are a stickler on dress codes. Shirt, tie, jacket, nice pants, nice shoes, no hats. You're welcome to go there. This is a status conference where the tribal entities and the state are going to be allowed to speak. However, people in the general audience will not have an ability to speak at this thing. What the Michigan Charter Boat Association, the coalition to protect our resources, what they're hoping to do is to finally be recognized by the state, by the judge, by the tribal entities as a voice in this entire thing. Up till now, that coalition has been blocked by the courts as having any voice in this entire conversation, which is unfortunate. If you think about it, it's really unfortunate because there's a lot of really good people in there that understand our fish. You think about it, the Michigan Charter Boat Association is made up of just that, charter boat captains. There's a lot of people on there that really understand our fisheries much more than somebody that sits behind a desk all day. All right, I really am hoping that the courts recognize the coalition tomorrow and give them a voice in this entire matter. I truly do, because up until now, like I said, they have not had any voice at all, and I hope that they're finally allowed to be heard. All right, you're welcome to go there tomorrow if you want to. Again, that starts at 1:30 in the afternoon at the federal courthouse in Kalamazoo. Dress appropriately. Don't make a stink. Don't be that person. And again, you will not be allowed to speak. However, you can take notes. You can just be present if you want to be. Okay. All right, let me get back into some comments here. Guys, gals, that is really the information that I want to put out tonight. Again, this is a multi-step process. This is step one. This is me getting the information out to you where we're at right now. Step two is going to be bringing in people a lot smarter than I am. That fills a large room to give you continued information on what this all means for us, what this all could change for us, what this may not change for us. Who knows? Hopefully, I guess what am I looking for in this entire thing? I don't mind the nets. Okay, I dealt with them before. I'm just going to tell you right now. I don't mind the nets. I really don't. We fished around them before. In fact, some of them held really good structure. Yeah, I got caught in them one time. My buddies got caught in them several times. They can be dangerous. If there's going to be nets out there, and it sounds like there's going to be, so I have to get my head around that first and foremost. Most likely there's going to be nets out there. What I would wish is that they do it in a safe and respectful manner. And safe means have them marked visibly, and I'm not talking, I saw milk jugs out there as markers before. I've seen pot bottles out there as markers. I've seen, God, you name it. Those are the kind of markers I've seen. I've seen nets out there just billowing in the waves with no markers on them. So my first and foremost thought is if they're going to do these things, I want them to do them safely. Not only for themselves, but for everybody else that goes out there. Not just for the fishermen as well. What about the family of boaters that goes out there for a run on Lake Michigan and all of a sudden their prop gets stuck in an unmarked net? It can happen. In fact, it has happened. Let's do this safely. Let's get along. I'm telling you right now, I've seen the aftermath of some of these quarrels. And by quarrel, I mean quarrel. Physical quarrels. People coming to blows over these things. It doesn't do us any good. All right, so first and foremost, safety. I want all of us to be safe. Second thing is we've worked really hard as anglers and as sport fishermen and women to protect this resource and to allow it to grow, and it's grown so well over the last few years. We're all seeing the fruits of our labors over the past couple of seasons. We're seeing the fish get bigger and more plentiful. Let's make sure if there's going to be nets out there that they are maintained and they are regulated and they are watched the way they should be. Because the last thing I want to see is this fishery go right back in the tank like it was 10, 12, 15 years ago. Scares me. It really does scare me. So those are my two big things. Safety, number one. Maintain your nets if you're going to have them out there. Other fishermen, us, me included, don't go out there and cut their lines. Don't go out there and target their boats. Don't go out there and people have shot at these tribal boats before. I'm telling you that for a fact. Let's not be those people. Let's use our heads on all this. Let's make sure we can all work together. And God, I sound like a cliche, but I just want everybody to be safe. and I want the fishery to be healthy. Okay, yeah. Let me pop the chat back out here and see what I'm missing in the chat. I'm sure I'm missing a ton. All right. I got kind of chatty there for a while, but I want to make sure I get out as much information as I can. Okay. So Mike Goldcheck's asking, how many fish are they allowed a day or a week? Mike, right now I don't know. That's above my pay grade. That's one of the things I want to find out for you. Excuse me. And right, somebody said the Sioux tribe. That is the tribe. I think I said that already. That's the one tribal entity that is wanting to step away, govern their own selves. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people are saying a lot of a lot of the fears that I have, they're being mirrored onto the chat here as well. Yeah, absolutely. And there's a mandatory regulation on how these nets have to be marked. And that was some of the problems that we had last time we had the nets. I didn't have a problem with the nets being out there. They were there. We worked around them. The problem that I had is how poorly they were marked. And there was more than once, all of a sudden I'm into a net area and I had no idea I was, because there was no flag or no buoy or no marker. And next thing I know, all three of my outside lines are getting drugged back and snapped off, or my downrigger balls are getting snagged into something because this net was completely improperly marked. So that's the biggest concern that I have right there is, just a safety issue. And again, if there's nets out there, I'll work around them, okay? I will. I have no problem doing that. And this, I want you to also understand this. I have no problem with the tribal entities that involved in all of this. I have no personal ill will. I feel no personal ill will towards any of them. I understand they're trying to get out there. They're trying to do what will help out their community. I respect that. I truly do. But respect goes both ways. So I hope that anybody involved with all this will also do the right thing and give us the respect back that we're going to give to them. Fishy 115 says you were unaware of this until tonight. Fishy, happy to get you some information. No problem. Yeah, Eric Nearing, I hear you. Bigger flags would definitely be a flag period would sometimes be incredibly helpful. Yeah, Tom Anderson, you're saying the same things. What that I saw, instead of flags, I would see milk jugs as markers. Not colored milk jugs, just your plain old white clearish milk jug. Try seeing that from a mile away, because you're not gonna. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna just circle back and go over what I already said. And in a nutshell, what I will say is make sure that you, first off, educate yourself. You being here listening to me, thank you for doing that. That's a great step, though, and starting to educate yourself. Take the time to read that consent decree. Take the time to make up your mind which way you want to go on this. Don't let me influence you. Don't let anybody else influence you. Your mind is yours. You make it up the way you want to, and your choice. Nobody can do anything about that. All right. If you want to, though, to donate to a great organization that's going to help out with these potential problems, the Coalition to Protect Michigan's Resources, the link is in the video. The DNR webpage is there for more information. The NWMI page is there for the petition. Again, they're going to ask you to donate there. I would rather you donate directly to the Coalition. And then look at the Lake Michigan grids, okay? Make sure you do that so you understand exactly where they're going to affect you. All right. Kind of a heavier topic tonight, I get it. It definitely a heavier mood tonight on the topic. I get that. But this is important information. And again, don't forget, Adam on Reel to Reel Outdoors this coming Monday is also going to have a good show on with more information coming out about all this. So, yeah. Okay. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to reiterate what I said at the very beginning. This channel is not going to be a vessel for you to do any kind of hate mongering, racially motivated, politically motivated, personally motivated, any kind. It's not going to be tolerated on this channel. I'm always open to great debate, great comments, and I'm seeing many of those on here. But if you come on here and just start spewing hatred, you're going to get blocked or banned. You're going to get asked to first not do that, and then you're going to get blocked or banned. So I appreciate everybody adhering to that. We can all play nice. We're all adults most of the time. Okay. So please, 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 please restrain from doing anything like that. Nick Padula from High Point Outdoors said something that I'd forgotten to mention, running in the dark. Yeah. A lot of these nets are not marked with any kind of strobe, any kind of light, so running in the dark can be a little scary. Most of the time, you know, if you talk to enough people out there, you're going to know about where the nets are. People are going to give you the information, so you try to avoid those areas anyway. But yeah, running at night into an unmarked net can be a pretty hairy situation. Okay, Tim H. Yeah, you made a good comment there about gill nets. I'll let people go back and read that themselves if they want to. Okay, guys, gals, that's really all I got for tonight. We've gone almost 40. We have gone 45 minutes. I appreciate everybody's attention. I appreciate everybody listening to me kind of drone on there for a while. And I appreciate everybody's call to action. If you want to help out in some way, that's the biggest thing the Charter Boat Association asked me to really put out there is they need support. They need money. I mean, honestly, it comes down to that. And support normally these days comes from it comes in the form of dollar bills. So if you want to support somebody, NWMI, they're doing a great job, and the Charter Boat Association of Michigan also doing a great job. Don't forget about the giveaway. Circle back to the beginning of the video if you don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to go over all that again. Thanks, though, to everybody that has donated so far to that giveaway. Like I said, I think we're at about $1,200 to $1,300 that we're going to be able to donate to that charity. Actually, I think it's more than that. I think it's $1,400 or $1,500 because I didn't add in the merchandise. Yeah, it's coming along great. It's coming along great. Thank you to everybody that's done that, though. Thanks to everybody that has taken the time, taken a couple dollars out of their wallet at these tight times, and has done what they can to help out these great causes. So, all right, cool. Brandon Matthews, thank you for that. Let's wrap it up, everybody. I'll be back this coming Sunday, 7 p.m. I'm hoping to have a guest on that night that has more information on all of this. If not, we're going to push that off until after Christmas. Well, really after New Year's, because let me look at my schedule here. Sunday is really the last night we can do it until after the holidays, because we'll have a live stream this coming Sunday. The following Thursday we will not, and the following Sunday we will not, because we're in the holidays then. So it's going to be tonight, Sunday, and then the next one will be on the 31st. We'll do all the giveaways on the 31st. All right, so get entered if you're not so far. Make sure that if you want to get a charter trip, you want to try to win one, get entered into any support on Patreon of $30 or more in a calendar year. You're in for a charter giveaway. All right, cool. Everybody, thanks for watching. Stay safe. We'll see you Sunday.